Hello, everybody. How are you doing today? My name is Tony Resonno, and this is the best podcast in three galaxies. This is the best podcast in the state of Georgia. This is the best podcast on earth. All right. But you and I, we just call it Online Marketing Moves. We are coming to you live today. Today is Saturday, March the 13th, 2021. And today, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to talk about being who you are. We don't want the representative, we want you. What do I mean by that? I will give you a little backstory. Long time ago, before I met my beautiful, lovely wife, you know, I dated a girl for about a month. And I remember about 2 to 3 weeks into our dating, or whatever you want to call it, she said, "When am I going to meet the real you and not the representative?" I said, "What do you mean?" She said, the the representative is, you always get the nicest person when you first meet somebody. I said, "This is very true." I said, "Well, when am I going to meet the real you? Because you might be crazy as all get out. So when am I going to meet the real you?" And she said, soon enough." And of course, it didn't last that long, but she made a good point. And the point is, we all, no matter what, it's like being the new kid at the first day of school. You're like, "Oh, okay, I gotta try to be super nice. What are these people like? And I'm gonna try to like what they like. Or you're dating somebody. You're like, oh yeah, I love to." I give you an example. When I met my wife, first few times we went out, first few months we dated. I was dressing all nice, spiffy, ironing the clothes, putting the creases in there, the shirts. And I'm like, oh man, how long do I care to keep this up? And then eventually she met the real me. Jogging pants, t-shirts, jogging pants, t-shirts. Now we've gotten married and I want my wife to be happy with her dear old husband. So I've gotten back to trying, well, now we're in the pandemic. But before the pandemic, I started putting out a little more effort when it comes to my clothes. But for a while when we was dating, it was just I got real kind of a little too slack, But she met the real me, and thank goodness for me that she loves the real me. So that's what I mean by when people say that you meet the representative, because you project. You go around projecting who you think people want to be. Now, who you think that people might want to be. You understand what I'm saying? But a lot of people they try to act like they want to be liked, but most people want to be liked. I'm not saying you want people to bend over and kiss your backside, but a lot of people just want to be liked. It's always strange when you hear somebody. My mom does this every night. She's go, I don't like so and so. And I go, "Why you don't like so and so?" She said, "I don't know. Something about them." What about them? "I don't know. Something about them I don't like." And it's like, well, that's strange. How can you just like somebody that you barely know? She's like, "I don't know. It's just something about them I don't like." So I'm sure if this person knew that, hey, this woman right here don't like you, and they would go, "Why?" And they would go, "I don't know." They would probably try to put out some kind of effort to get them to like them. Then after a couple of tries, they probably be like, "You know what? F this. I ain't doing all that." But in the beginning, when you hear that somebody doesn't like you, you're like, "What? How come they don't like me? What did I do? What did I do?" And so we all try, we all go around being a representative, but and when you really get down to it, if you really want a true friendship, if you really want a true relationship, you have to let people know, who you are. Who are you? What do you stand for? What do you like? Not just the the person they first meet in the first week, because we all do that. The first week somebody's like, "Oh, I like to travel," and you go, "Yeah, I love to travel. Let me tell you something. I love being on planes. I love being in hotels." And then you're like, "I hate traveling. I hate being in a hotel." So, and we're gonna tie this. We're gonna tie this back into internet marketing. Now, what does that have to do with me, you, and internet marketing? A lot. A lot of people come online and they're like, "What is working for so and so? Let me see what's working for these people." And then you go and you find and you see who's successful. And you're like, "I wonder why they're successful." And maybe they're on TV being all hyper and all, talking all fast and doing this and doing that, moving their hands. And you're like, apparently that works. Let me try that. And you try it, and it's like, I don't got time for that. I don't like to do that. I don't want to do that. Okay. Now, of course, you do videos, you do, podcasts. You go interview on somebody's podcast. You don't want to be all, hey guys, how are you? But you want to, you inject your personality. You might ramp it up a notch or two, but you definitely want to be who you are. You just don't try to be, hey, uh, I'm gonna be. I see this guy talking real fast, moving his hands around a lot, and that's working for him. I'm gonna do that. It's like, nah, that don't work for you. You're not that kind of person. Like sometimes I can start talking. It depends on the day. If I'm in a well, I won't lie. If I'm in a sort of pissy mood, I can start talking real fast and I can get hot under the collar. But I try not to display that on the podcast too much because you don't want to just be, pissy every day. That would just be. But you have to show the different. You have to show sometimes the different moods that you are in. Every day you ain't gonna be bubbly. Like I would be like yesterday. Yesterday I was done. Yesterday I was just fatigued, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do my podcast because I got to do my podcast. That's what I want to do. But I'm not going to, I wouldn't be able to drone on for 30 minutes to you talking to you about any subject. Cause I'd been like, you know what? I'm sick of this. And I would have just shut it off and that's it. So I just talked about, being fatigued and, taking a breather. And I took my breathing, took those 3 hours off and 3 4 hours. And like I told you, I watched Hell's Kitchen, caught up on some of that. And it was good. And then I went to bed. Oh, I woke up. I'll tell you what. I woke up and shout out to my wife, my beautiful wife. I woke up, it was like 10 o'clock. She said, hey man, I've been trying to wake you up. And I said, oh, what's going on? And she said, I made you dinner. And my wife made me homemade pizza. And I'll tell you what, it was delicious. Okay. I was very excited about that. So, I appreciate that very much. And but you definitely want to inject your personality. You definitely want to be who you are. And of course, you're not gonna be, you want to show more personality. I'm not saying fake it, but it's like being on a reality show. They get these people on reality shows, you have to crank it up a little bit. You don't have to, you're not gonna be most people are not like, bombastic, just walking around walking around life. Like I like to joke around with people and stuff like that, but I'm not like the life of the party when I'm out and about. Like if you ever meet me, we go out for whenever you take me out to lunch and buy me pizza, you know, whenever you take me out and buy me pizza, you meet me, I'm gonna laugh and I'm gonna joke with you, but you know, I'm not gonna be like, hey, screaming, because my wife says I talk loud, which I'm like, do I? I'm like, I don't know. Like, I don't understand what she says I talk loud. She's like, you're very loud. I'm like, am I? I don't feel that way. When I go to the old job, I say hi to every people. If I told the people that I work with, hey, I have a podcast, they wouldn't believe me. They'd be like, you don't say anything. What are you going what are you gonna talk about, sir? And I'd be like, hey man, we have a lot of fun on this here podcast. So, obviously I'm connecting to somebody. Somebody enjoys it, somebody likes it. So but be who you are, inject yourself a little bit. Crank it up a little bit. Nothing wrong with that. It's like I heard it one time, Stone, we're gonna do a wrestling reference, so brace yourself. The great Stone Cold Steve Austin, he talked about his wrestling character. He said, when they really connected with me and it connected with the fans, I was basically who I was, but I just ratcheted up to a level 9 or 10. So he liked to drink beer. He was from Texas. He liked to have he liked to hunt because he used to wear the little camouflage outfits and a little hunting hat and stuff like that. I mean, it was cool, but he just said he cranked it up to a level 10 and he connected with the fans, and Stone Cold became one of the biggest, most popular wrestlers of all time. So that's what I mean when I say, be who you are. If you're not gonna be, you can't be somebody you see on the internet. Whoever you see on YouTube, You might you might do the same things that they do, but you're not gonna talk the same way. They're not gonna walk the same way they do. So so don't just copy somebody word for word, because that is one of the worst things you can do. Be a copycat. Just be yourself. It was like one time I was watching this video with Russell Brunson, and this guy, he talks fast, and he was talking about ClickFunnels, and I was like, Jesus, this guy talks fast, and I'm like, does that work? And then I seen another guy doing the same thing, and I was like, it just reminds me of the other guy. So it's like I might as well just watch his videos. Now I don't know if he might have been doing it on purpose, might not have been doing it on purpose, but I'm not saying that only certain people talk fast, but you can tell when somebody's doing the same cadence or doing the same, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? So just be who you are. Remember who you are. Okay? You are my now. You remember who you are. That's one of my favorite movies, The Lion King. And when he was talking to them, he was like, remember who you are. And then he's like, you are more than what you have become. That's one of my favorite parts. The great James Earl Jones with the voice. But anyway, I hope this helps you in your you know start online. Just remember, like, whenever you do a video, it's like, I'll tell you, I started doing these. And by the way, if you haven't already, why haven't you follow me on TikTok? Okay, we have you on we have you on the TikTok. All right. So I started doing these videos, and now I'm looking and I see all these people doing these different videos, and I said, I'm not gonna do all that. I'm gonna do the videos I do, and we'll take it from there. So, like yesterday, I well, first off, don't be a snitch and don't tell my wife this, because I'm supposed to be cutting back on soda. So, but I had one soda yesterday. Okay, so shh. For all you that know my wife, can get in contact with her, don't be a snitch. I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you people. Okay, don't be a snitch, and the rest of you just don't be a snitch either. But anyway, I had a cherry coke, and I said, you know what? Cherry coke is like the redheaded stepchild of the Coca-Cola family. It's like, why, Coke, they get the polar bears, they get all the commercials. Sprite gets the youth, they get the, NBA. And I'm like, man, what about Cherry Coke? So I did a little post. I said, Cherry Coke deserves more love. And it got like 300 views. I don't know if that's a lot on TikTok. As I told you before, I don't know what I'm doing, but you know what? We are doing it, people. Okay. So it got 300 views. I said, that's cool. And I said, see, I don't have to try to emulate all these different, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Point up to the sky and words pop up, I ain't doing all that. I don't got time for all that. So I just do the videos I do, and we're going to make it work. All right. It's just like this podcast. I can't sit here and emulate every other Joe Blow on God's green earth trying to do a podcast, this, that, and the other. So this podcast, it's probably a little different. It's not going to be everybody's cup of tea, but that's all right. We have our audience. We have our, people that are going to like it and tell everybody else about it. Okay. Yeah. And if you haven't, we going to swing the plugs in the middle of the show. If you haven't already, why haven't you told a friend, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. All right. We big in Great Britain. So let's go. Okay. Everybody. One day I was looking at the stats of the show one day, and it's probably fake, but it's talking about geographic location. I'm like, where everybody's at that listens to the show. And then I was like, I was like, what about Georgia? I live in Georgia. Do I have any people in Georgia? And I was like, oh man, we got the lowest percentage in Georgia. That's a shame. Maybe I should tell somebody about this podcast in Georgia. You know what else? I know. Listen, we listen. I'm gonna wrap up the whole be who you are thing. All right, and then we'll talk about something else. Now, you want to start a business online? Great. You want to produce content? Great. But the one thing I will tell you is be yourself. All right, be who you are. Do the stuff that you want to do. Of course, you have to study the market. You want to study your market. You want to do what people want. People want what they want, but you can always add. Okay, it's like this. People pick out the meat. All right, they say they want a ribeye. Boom, give them the ribeye, but then you add your own seasoning to the ribeye, and then I bet you money they will enjoy that ribeye. All right, so that's basically what it is. People want different content. People want to know about running a business online. You give that to them, but you add your own seasoning to it. You add your own personality, your own flavor to it. All right, and now I hope that helps you out along the way, But at the end of the day, I just don't want you to be, if you listen to this podcast, we do things, we're not going to be, I rather go down with the ship being myself than making a bunch of money being somebody else, because that's just how I am, man. I wouldn't be able to sleep with myself if I was just piggybacking off somebody else, making money. It's just kind of lame, kind of, And plus, it don't last long. You might reach in there and grab some cash first, but I want the thing that I do. I want the thing that you do. I want that to be long lasting. I want that to be sustaining. All right. I want my unborn child, to be like, I'll say, "Hey, child, you want to take over this business that I've created online?" And they go, "Yes, father, I want to take over the business." All right, that's what we want. We want long lasting success. You don't want fly by night. Hey, because I was telling my wife this the other day. If you think about it, nowadays, money is not as long as it used to be. You want to try to make the most consistent money you can, because, so let's say you win $100,000. I'll give you an example for me. Say if you won $100,000, what would you have to pay? I'll give you an example. Me and my wife, we have this. We fixed our water leak. That was a lot of money. But then we had this other thing. They like, we can change out your stuff for like $11,000. And so if I won $100,000 and I bought that, boom, I'm already out $11,000. That's, tax. First off, taxes, boom, that's about 20, 30,000 right there, boom. So now you're like 70,000. If I wanted to buy the whole, water guard system downstairs, boom, that's like $11, $12,000. Boom, now I'm down to like 58. And then whatever else, I think, after we probably get stuff for the baby, had to buy, got to get my wife another car. Boom, 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 boom. We'll probably be back down to close to zero. It's a lot. Money goes by a lot faster than a lot of people think. That's what I'm trying to say. So at the end of the day, running off, grabbing a bunch of cash at first, it sounds great and everything like that, but you want something. You want something to be sustainable. You don't want to be the carnival barker who has to go out and bark every few months. You see these people. They're like, "Hey, I make money right now," screaming and stuff. And then they do the launch and they make a lot of money, but it turns out to be a scam or something like that. And then they're like, "Oh, gotta go," and then you see them pop back up like months later, like, "Oh, that last scam worked at first, but then I got shut down, so I'm back doing another scam." So you don't want to be you don't want to be that. You don't want to be those people. You want to try to make the most consistent money, on a regular basis. So that is why we talk about injecting your personality into your content, injecting your personality into the, affiliate marketing business or coaching or whatever you do. You just want to, the more you are of yourself, the better off you will be as far as when it comes down to, sustaining a business. All right. And that's what I want for you, because I want you to, let's be honest with each other, right? Let's say for like 3 or 4 years, you start running a business and you're making out real good money. It would be hard for you to go back to like working at a job or trying to figure out. It would be hard for you to go back and just work like, hey, Best Buy, can I get my old job back? And like, oh, for 3 or 4 years, man, I was running a business. I was doing great. Now I'm back. It would be. I mean, you would do it. You could do it probably, but it would definitely suck. You know what I mean? Like, who wants that? So that's why I say, just be who you are. Be yourself. Inject yourself into the content. Of course, I'm gonna take it back when I say, do the things that you want to do. It depends on the market that you're in. Now if you want to, if you are if you're gonna be a internet comedian, then you can do the material that you want to do. But if you're like trying to do a niche, if you're like in the weight loss market, people want to know how to lose weight and all that kind of stuff. So you just can't be like, hey man, I want to talk about making money online and I'm in the fitness niche. No, nobody wants to hear that. But you take the meat that the people say, hey, what you want, ribeye? All right, I'll give you ribeye. And then you just, sprinkle the seasoning that you have on that meat. So I just wanted to recoup that. And I know I know 5 minutes ago I said I was gonna stop talking about that, but I feel like it's I feel like that part, I feel like the whole, you know, because listen, making money online, starting to creating a business for yourself. Listen, the tire has been invented, you know, so it's not gonna change a whole lot. But the only thing that can change is you bringing your personality, bringing yourself, bringing the stuff that you've learned over the years, and not just work wise. I'm talking about from the time you was a baby, anytime that you can remember. You can always inject any story, any situation into your business. All right. Because you see every day we come on this spot. I just mentioned some girl that I dated for like 2 weeks, So she made it to the podcast, and it was a story behind that, and we intertwined that into the marketing. We intertwined that into being who you are, and all that kind of stuff. So that's what you need to do. It's not about, oh, I'm gonna come up with this new creation, unless you're gonna. I mean, Steve Jobs came out with the iPhone. Unless you're gonna make another iPhone or something like that. If you're like me, I'm probably gonna not create anything like an iPhone or a car, anything like that. But what I will do, what I will do is come online, inject my personality into the affiliate marketing world, and make consistent money. That's what we're gonna do. So that's what you should do. Unless you got a great idea on an invention. And then if you do, please let the rest of us know. Let the family know, huh? And then so we can all jump on board. And you know what's something I was thinking about? We need t-shirts for this. We need t-shirts for this show. What do you think? Would you like a t-shirt? And I was sort of thinking of ideas while I was driving the other day. What would you say? Because I believe, and you can email the show. You should email the show if you want to. No, I shouldn't say if you want to. Email the show, okay? I'm not gonna ask you. I'm telling you. Email the show. What would be a good T-shirt idea? I was thinking, because this podcast, we didn't have any. We didn't have any. Marquee headlines. We didn't have any. I didn't tell anybody, as I told you. Fooling with you, I got in trouble with my wife because she was all pissed off because I didn't tell her for 6 weeks I had a podcast, and so anyway, so we had no, I didn't tell anybody that I had a podcast, and now here we are, like the little engine that could. And I was thinking, Tony's Turtles. What do you think about that? Let me know what you think. We should make a T-shirt with like a turtle and it says Tony Turtles. Slow and steady wins the race. What do you think about that, ladies and gentlemen? I think it's a good idea, but if you don't, please hit me up and let me know. And then we can start sending out t-shirts. I mean, I'm here. We're gonna create a real movement. All right. So that's it for the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. I gotta go heat up some pizza. What do you have planned today? Before I go, what do you have planned for today? I'm gonna me and my mother-in-law, we're gonna enjoy some lunch and we're gonna watch something on TV for about 30 minutes to an hour. Then I'm gonna clean out. I gotta clean out the baby room. It's that time. We gotta start making a room for the baby, for the little baby. And oh yeah, in the next couple of weeks, I'll be able to reveal the sex of the baby. I know you have been waiting with bated breath about, you know, if it's a boy or if it's a girl. I know you've been waiting on that. But anyway, let me know what you think about the whole t-shirt idea. I think it's a great idea. Tony's Turtles, onlinemarketingmoves.com. Slow and steady wins the race. I'm gonna have to keep that in mind. And don't try to steal my ideas, okay? No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, hope you enjoyed this episode of the podcast. We will be back tomorrow with the all new, brand new episode of Online Marketing Moves. But until then, my name is Tony Resonno. Go follow us on the TikTok. Go follow us on the YouTube. Go to the Facebook page, Online Marketing Moves. Like it. And like I tell you all the time, everybody, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. All right. But until then, until tomorrow, as always, everybody, peace.